What's up, cool people? What's up? Figured I'd tap in here with y'all real quick. Try and get all the platforms up so we can go ahead and rock and roll. Look, y'all, we on 6 different platforms. Shout out to everybody from wherever you're joining us at. What's up, family? Shout out to YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Riff, Instagram, TikTok. Shout out to all the platforms that we on. I hope that you all are having an amazing Friday. I hope everything that you all have set out to do, y'all have gotten accomplished the way y'all need to get it accomplished. And anything that you haven't gotten accomplished, what you waiting on? What are you waiting on, people? So look, y'all, if you're new to my live, look, I go by Zabo103. Look, I'm the dude that realistically get on these lives and information that you normally would pay for. If I know it, you're getting it for free. It's really that simple, y'all. And it's becoming more interesting every single day. Let me move that out the way a little bit. It's becoming interesting every single day. And the more that I go into my modes of thinking and researching and taking action, the more things that I come across. I appreciate you. And one of the things that I noticed that I wouldn't be myself if I don't touch on. There are a lot of people that are seeking, information so that they can figure out how to get to wherever it is they're trying to go, and their destination might not be the same as my destination because every day that you're learning something, you're adding more things to your tool belt. Sometimes those things may make you pivot, and that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with adding and subtracting things from your tool belt as you learn different things. So I say that to say this. No matter where what your destination is, no matter where this journey takes you, it doesn't have to be just like somebody else. Let me give you some examples. You may decide that, hey, I'm buying land and I'm doing that, right? Hey, I got my policies going, but I don't want no rental properties. I don't want my rental properties. I want something different. Maybe I do want a bunch of box trucks. Maybe I do want a day trade. Maybe I do want to, do whatever it is that you do. All of that stuff is okay, y'all. As long as it's legal, it does not matter. So I'm gonna say this, like, while you're on my lives, and we have roughly between all 6 platforms, it's not a lot of people today, but we have right at about 450 people between all 6 platforms right now. And I know we're just getting started, so I know it's more people going to come in. But as you're listening to this live, don't spend your time trying to say to yourself, what about this and what about that? Just go do all your what abouts, go research it, and then start dissecting it. And the reason why I'm sharing it is because just, being a person that have jumped on other people's lives before, and sometimes I'll sit and I'll listen for a little while, just because to show support. But when I sit and I listen sometimes, when I'm not trying to fully dissect and process all the things that are being said, I obtain more information. And one of the things that I would be remiss if I don't say, you got to know when to broadcast and you got to know when to tune in. I'm gonna say that again. You got to know when to broadcast and you got to know when to tune in. And in some weird way, a lot of times we spend a lot of time trying to broadcast because we want people to understand that we know things. And I get it. We are humans. So we do it. And I will tell you, when I get on lives, I'm just really broadcasting, y'all. I'm tuning into some things that catch my eye, but for the most part, I'm broadcasting most of the time. When I'm not on these live platforms, y'all wouldn't believe how quiet I am. You wouldn't believe how much I be in silence, whether I'm by myself, obviously, or I'm around people. It doesn't matter if people are more knowledgeable than me or not. I spend a lot of time listening, a lot of time listening. And I know it's kind of cliche. You hear these gurus or whatever tell you, nope, you got to listen, you got to listen, you got to listen. But I'm just not listening like most people listen. I'm listening and I'm connecting the dots on what it is that I'm listening to. And I'm trying to get a visual of how it lines up to what the person that I'm listening to do. I'm going to say that again. I'm not just listening just to be hearing it. I'm also observing to try to figure out if what the person is doing lines up to what I'm listening to. And that's a difficult task, y'all, because people are going to only show you what they want to show you. You're not going to be able to see anything beyond that. 99% of the time, when you encounter a person, regardless if it's on social media or in real life, you're meeting their representative. So sometimes, let me not say sometimes, a lot of times it's hard to separate what people actually do versus what they actually say. So I only say that to say that know when to broadcast and know when to tune in. It's going to be important. The next thing I would say is that Friday, it's a beautiful day, y'all. It really is. I got that same phone call that I get every Friday from one of my 8 trusted advisors asking me, do I need any capital? And I told my trusted advisor, who had no clue what I was talking about when I said this to them, no, I don't need these other people money. He had no clue what I was talking about. Think about what I just said. One of my 8 trusted advisors, they call me every Friday when y'all get paid and ask me, do I need any capital? And my response today was, no, I don't need none of their money. Think about that. And my trusted advisor had no clue what I was talking about. It only reconfirms everything that I've been thinking for all this time, even things I've been saying. There are a lot of people out here that are in great positions with amazing titles, but they're only an expert at selling the product that they're trying to sell you. And that's the part that becomes scary, because some of these people with these titles that are experts with the products that they're trying to sell you, they haven't connected the dots for themselves, y'all. So it's hard to piece together wealth building, really wealth building. It's hard to piece together love and relationship. It's hard to piece together any of these things because these people haven't necessarily done these things for themselves. They're just experts at the product that they're selling you. And this is why these conversations get kind of difficult, because I'm not an expert at a product at all. I'm just walking down this path and I'm sharing what I do, which happens to line up with what the banks do and what these quote unquote super wealthy elite people do. That's really the real message. It's like those things where you say, you got all the coaches in the NBA. Head coaches in the NBA can't play a lick of basketball. You got relationship coaches out here tell you everything you know about a relationship, but they ain't in one solid relationship. These people are experts at the product that they're trying to sell you, but they're not walking the walk, y'all. That's the difference, y'all. When you start to recognize people that are actually walking the walk, they don't know everything. They're never going to come off as knowing everything. But when you hear the things that they are sharing with you, you're going to know that they know exactly what they're talking about. They know exactly what they're talking about. So I know I kind of came in hot a little bit, giving a long dissertation. I want to do that because normally the time we get a good amount of people on these lives that really just be trying to pop in and be nosy. And that's cool, be nosy all day long, right? But for the people that stick around, they understand I'm just trying to get some people off the line because usually when we have a whole bunch of people on the live, it'd be a bunch of trolls. That's all it be, y'all. So for the people that have sticking around for the most part, if this is your first time on my live, what's up, GOAT? This is your first time on my live and you've never been on my live before, put a 1 in the chat. I want to see where we need to go today because we got a lot of stuff to talk about, y'all. Put a 1 in the chat if your first time being on my live. Put a 2 in the chat if you've been rocking with me for more than 1 or 2 lives. I want to see where we at, y'all. First time on the live, put a 1 in the chat. What's up, Keith? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Got a lot of twos on TikTok, Rumble, Facebook. What y'all looking like? YouTube, got some ones over there. I know we got some ones on the other platforms. What's up, family? Got 1, 2 on Instagram, but we ain't got a lot of people. 2 twos on Instagram. A lot of people that actually been around for a minute. I think for the most part, the people that are on the other platforms outside of Instagram, 25 weeks. Appreciate you, family. For the people that's been on my live on TikTok and Instagram, those are like some of the people that have been around for a minute. Shout out to them for keep coming back and doing what they do. For those people, appreciate you since August. That's right, fam. It's been a minute. For those people on YouTube, say 1 for YouTube, but TikTok for 2 weeks. Shout out to that, family. Appreciate you tapping in over there on YouTube. That's what's up. But for those of you that have been tapping in week by week, day by day, shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all for sure. For those few people that are new, truly new, and it's your first time here, look, y'all, I go by Zabo103. I'm just a dude on the internet talking. If you come into my live looking for a cat that got some credentials, you in the wrong live, y'all ain't got no credentials. 0. Oh man, I ain't got no credentials at all, family. If you're looking for financial advice, you're in the wrong place, y'all. I am not a financial advisor and I am not giving financial advice, although I am financially free. They gotta count for some, I guess. I'm not over here trying to teach y'all how to build generational wealth. You know that's the new buzzword, y'all, for scam. It should be like how you get the phone calls that say scam likely. Anytime you see somebody say, I'm going to show you how to build generational wealth, you just need to click the link in the bio and I'm going to show you exactly how to build generational wealth. It should be something that pop up on the screen and say scam likely. That's just the truth, y'all. But I figured out personally how to figure out how to build wealth, not just for me, but for my bloodline. It's pretty interesting, y'all. It's pretty interesting. Those are the type of questions that you need to ask when you get in front of these financial advisors, you get in front of these wealth managers, you get in front of these gurus, these coaches, these mentors, all this stuff. Ask those simple questions. Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Financial Advisor, are you financially free? And it shouldn't be a difficult question to answer. It's yes or no. If the answer is no, I don't know. I'm going to go out on a limb. How can I teach you how to be financially free if I'm not financially free myself? I don't know. Just a thought. Hey, Mr. Wealth Manager, you're trying to teach me how to build generational wealth, Have you built generational wealth for yourself yet? Roth accounts, I think they only let you put up to $6,500 a year in it. Uh-oh. But ask them how they build generational wealth for themselves. Now, this is a trick question for them, y'all. They should be honest with you and tell you no. Both of those parties. But if they tell you yes, for whatever reason, oh, ask yourself the question. How many people you know working a regular 9-to-5 job, like a wealth manager or a financial advisor, working for somebody else's last name and not their own, have truly become financially free or built some form of generational wealth? They're breaking the very first rule of getting wealthy. They're trading their time for money, and they're going to run out of time. We all are. Wealthy people, truly wealthy people, and I'm using that term lightly because I know the term really is something to bring comfort to other people, but wealthy people understand you don't trade your time for money, you trade your money for time. Appreciate it for the heart leader. This is how this stuff works, y'all. So if you fall into one of those categories where you're looking for somebody got a whole bunch of credentials, boys and girls, I'm not your man. I'm not that guy. But for little giggles, I guess, I did work at Bank of America for 20 years as an executive without a college degree. How did I get to the executive level without a college degree? You know the cliche, I worked hard. I retired in my early 40s, if that gives you an example. Made a couple $100,000 a year at the bank. Amazing. I left Bank of America when I made my yearly salary in a month and haven't turned back. I gotta know something. As far as in things that you're gonna hear on this live, because typically people that pop into my live from time to time, they'll hear me say things like, hey, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you should do that. Look, we all grown. You're gonna do what you want to do, and that's okay too. But let me just go on and get it out the way at the very beginning of this live. I'm not in a green screen, which this is just an office, so it don't look that magnificent to where I should be in a green screen. And I'm not going to sell you anything, at least not right now. Not going to sell you nothing. Think about that for a second. You're about to get some free information, truly for free. Where's my remote control? Somebody over there said that Zabo 103 sign, is that a green screen? See how bright I made that thing? You can't do that without. You can't do that in a green. You can do that in a green screen. Off, on. People be wilding, y'all. People be wilding. So I like to put stuff out there, y'all. It is what it is. But that's just me. The next thing I would say to you all is simply this. Don't trust anyone on social media, even somebody in your face, at your job, no matter where you're at. Don't trust nobody without doing your research. Well, let me tell you, let me be a little bit more clear when I say this. If I'm trying to sell you something and there's not a physical product attached to it, you, my friend, are the product. So when you're paying for information, you need to do your own research. Because the minute you pay somebody to do research for you, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. I promise you. Now, I will say this, because I have to put this out here too. What's up, family? Although I'm not getting paid on none of these social media platforms, none of them, not monetized on any of these platforms, I understand this is a use relationship that we have, y'all. We up to 600 people across all platforms. Shout out to that. But I know we're in a use situation. Y'all use me for the free information. I'm going to keep using y'all to show y'all my pretty clothes and my pretty shoes, and then I'm expensive. Because Zabo 103 is also one of my businesses. And being that Zabo 103 is also one of my businesses, business expense, business expense, business expense, business expense, I can keep going. It's a scary thought, y'all. The only requirements I have in this live today, y'all, and we're going to get on into this, is think, research, and take action. I promise you, your future self will thank you, because that's the secret to everything you want to do in your life. Everything that you want to do in your life. Credit repair. I don't do no credit repair for the most part, but we can talk about how to fix your credit. But I don't do no credit repair. But we can talk about how to get your credit straight. That's cool. Let's dive right on in it. Might as well meet the quote out the gate, and then we'll dive on to what we're going to dive to. Take notes. I really don't like repeat myself a lot of times, but I know when I get on live, I typically repeat myself a lot because we have new people coming in all the time. So I have to continue to repeat myself on things, and that's cool too. So let's go on and dig into it. Let's talk about this credit thing, right? If you need to fix your credit, for the most part, fix your credit. It's really that simple, boys and girls. Go fix your credit. I didn't say go pay somebody to fix your credit. I said you go fix your credit. Here's the reality, y'all. If there's somebody out there that has figured out how to fix your credit and they charge you to fix your credit, you better believe if they figured it out, it can't be that difficult. What's up, family? So let me say this, and let me make myself very, very clear when I say this to all, what's that, 101, something like 5, another 100 right here. To all 675 people on this live, take notes for sure. But if somebody else can do it, that's enough of a light to show you that you can do it too. Just so we clear. So if you need to go fix your credit, boys and girls, go fix your credit. And when you get out ready to go fix your credit, here's what I need you to do. Let's be simple. There's a company out there called LexisNexis. LexisNexis. If you've already done this process on any of my lives, I know these 4 platforms over here, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Riff, I got it up so y'all will be able to see it. But on Instagram and TikTok, I don't have a way to put it up. LexisNexis. Somebody type it in the chat. It came back verified for you? We're going to talk about that too, man. We're going to figure out how to get that situated. LexisNexis. LexisNexis is a company that houses all your information. I mean, all of it. All your information. A lot of people don't know that. What you want to do is call LexisNexis. Simple enough. And when you call LexisNexis, you want to tell the first person that you speak to freeze your Clue report, C-L-U-E, Clue report, and personal file. Somebody will have to type it in order for me to pin it. Somebody type it in on Instagram. It's pinned. I can't pin it on. I can't pin it unless somebody type it in. I pinned it on TikTok, but Instagram, somebody got to type it in. LexisNexis, LexisNexus. Somebody type it in. I'll pin it. But LexisNexis houses all your information, y'all. When you actually get that person on the phone, tell them to freeze your Clue report, personal file. Clue, C-L-U-E. Clue, C-L-U-E. Clue report, personal file. Hopefully y'all caught that. They're going to try to upsell you on some extra privacy, as y'all know. That's any company, right? Once you tell them, no, thank you, I don't need that, just freeze my Clue report and my personal file, they're going to tell you, they're going to mail you out a PIN number. You can unfreeze your Clue report and your personal file at any time. Give it a couple of days, at least so I've been told, at least 72 hours, right? Once you've given it a few days, you're going to want to reach out to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian and start disputing. Appreciate y'all, family, for the gifts. Start disputing, start disputing, start disputing. Now, they got 30 days to verify this information. LexisNexis have your Clue report and your personal file frozen. But Equifax, TransUnion, Experian got 30 days to verify your information. Equifax, TransUnion, Experian are going to reach out to LexisNexis to verify your information. Hopefully y'all catching this. Being that your Clue report and your personal file is frozen, nothing's coming back. Now, we have some cases where some things will come back, and we're going to talk about what you need to do after that. But we all know what happens when it don't come back, right? It's coming off your credit. And it's free. Y'all ain't picked that up. Now, for the sake of argument, if somebody did verify your information, because sometimes they will say they verified your information, depending on what it is, right? If it's something I've been told, because I'm not 100% sure, if it's something like evictions and stuff like that, I think real estate has a different company that they use in order to verify information. I'm not quite sure what the name is. What I have to wind up doing is I have to do some research on it. I suggest you do some research too to figure out who they verify their information with, find out what company this is that houses this information, and go over and freeze that information over there too. We have to figure out what it's called, but there are some companies out there like that too, like third-party companies that do that stuff. Just FYI. But if they do say they verified, you want to head over to the CFPB. C as in Charlie, F as in Frank, P as in Paul, B as in boy. CFPB. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Y'all got to make that happen now. If they said they verified it, you want to mosey right on over to the CFPB. And what you're going to do when you get over to the CFPB, you're going to launch a complaint. You're going to launch a complaint. Now, when you launch that complaint, your complaint is based around them not verifying the information. They have little drop downs you can use. Need them to verify my information. This is not my account, all the other stuff. And then you have the others, I think, on there where you can actually type stuff in. I don't know if that's still the same. It's been a minute since I've used any of those things, but so I could be a little outdated with that. But go check out the CFPB and submit a complaint. Once you submit that complaint through the CFPB, whoever it's for, Equifax, TransUnion, or Experian, they got 15 days to show the CFPB proof that they verified your information. And being that your Clue report and your personal file is frozen, they're not going to have no proof. And that's for free. Hopefully y'all caught that. Those are basic things that I just went through real quick to try to see if they got this stuff verified. Sent me a letter. Oh, bill statement. So that means if they sent that to you, that means there's another company that verified whatever bill you got. And they're showing proof. That could happen too. That's not an uncommon thing. But let me just say this, and this might be a little something that may it may be worth doing, right? It may be worth paying the 300 some odd dollars. I know most people tell you don't pay it, let it go to collections, and then do what you got to do. No, there's some places. There you go. Sage Stream. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. But there's some. It might be worth it to pay it. And the reason why I'm saying that is because once you pay it and if it's off their books, you can wait a few months and go back and dispute it off your credit again. There's going to be no one to verify it at that point because it's already paid. They're not holding on to it after 90. I think it's like 90 days. It goes to a microfilm. So that's a little bit different. But I know Doctor just put two other companies out there that are like LexisNexis. I can remember the name of them. And they basically do similar things, but I'm not sure how it actually worked because I've never gone through that process with them before. So hopefully that helped. Research over me search. So hopefully that little bit of information that I gave, like I said, I'm not a person that fixed credit or anything like that. But the little information I gave you, hopefully that's enough for you to get on a good foot and start doing what you need to do. Oh no, I appreciate y'all. The other thing is that, and this is the conversation that I want to have, and I know I got to be real delicate when I have this conversation because I know, the world has become very soft, very soft. I appreciate you, family. They have become very soft. So let me say this, and I want to be, I want to show as much care as possibly I can, right? Even though I save my emotions and my feelings for the people that I care about and love the most. So let me say this. If you are a person that your feelings are easily hurt, this is the part of the lie that you probably want to put your phone down and just go somewhere else. Because I don't know another way to be, and I believe the truth could never be considered disrespect. So I'm gonna give you like 3 seconds to either put your phone on mute or just walk away for a little bit. Come back in about 3 minutes. I'll be done. Let me say this. For all you good, clean people that's still in fear, after all the stuff that we didn't talk about over the last now almost 60 weeks. Tomorrow will be 60 weeks going live talking about these things. If you are a person that's still in fear, what's up, family? Of taking these steps or taking whatever steps you need to take to get out of your race. Excuse me. Thank you. Appreciate you. But if you're a person that's in fear of taking steps and getting out of your rat race, let me just be the first person to tell you ain't never gonna make it. You ain't ever gonna make it. You might have to log back in, family. You ain't never gonna make it. You can stop trying to get out of your rat race. You ain't ever gonna make it. Did I lose y'all? I don't think I did. TikTok family, can y'all still see me? Okay, y'all still there. All right, it's a few people that's on. All right. But let me just say that, and I said that with love and care, but I just have to be honest. You ain't never gonna make it. I'm not the person that's gonna give you hope on that, and I'm not the person that's gonna lie to you. You're not going to make it. If you're still in fear right now of keeping your job, and taking steps to start your own thing, I know Mighty Mouse. You ain't gonna make it. I promise you, you're not. And the reason why I'm saying it that way is because you've been, uh, you were supposed to take these steps 5 years ago when you very first told yourself you were going to take them steps 5 years ago. Now you got a person on a live, whether it's on any platform right now, giving you some form of motivation, and you're motivated all over again to do the same thing that you did 5 years, which was nothing. So stop wasting your time. Here's the reality, y'all. There are people out here on these lives right now that are doing different things and they're taking steps, and that's amazing. But if you haven't even taken the first step, stop wasting your time. Go find something else to do with your time. Because I know for a fact, and it's just me, the things that I talk about on this live, it ain't for everybody, y'all. The majority of the people, it's not for. Let me make myself clear when I say this. This way of thinking, this way of living, there's only 0.05% on this planet that think and move this way. Notice I ain't say 1%. Notice I ain't say 0.5%. Think about what I'm saying. So what does that mean? Majority of the people ain't gonna even attempt. Then you're gonna have a handful, a small portion, that's gonna make an attempt to do these things. They're gonna get a little discouraged and they're gonna quit. Then you're gonna have another small group of people of that small group that make it, and then they see a huge risk that's going to come up that they're not going to be willing to take. Then a small percentage of that are going to take that risk and they're going to get the reward. Those are the only people that will make this process work for them. It's a scary thought, y'all. Think about the things I've said to y'all in these lives before. There's only one person in your bloodline that can do what I'm talking about. It may not be you. There was only one person in my bloodline that can do what I did. Why? That's just what it is, y'all. You're not going to come across, you'll come across more people that are like you than not. And I know it's a very tough conversation to have, y'all. It really is, because you want to give everybody hope. But y'all, I gotta be honest. So what does that mean? If you feel, and I'm gonna say you feel, I'm gonna use feel for a second. If you feel like you are the one person in your bloodline, you might not be. Because the one person in your bloodline don't feel like that. They know. You gotta know this is what you're supposed to be doing, y'all. It ain't a matter of people in your family that care about you and you care about them that can push you to do it, because you only gonna go so far, y'all. Yeah, once it's frozen, you can start disputing 100%. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I was a little hesitant about having the conversation on live because I kept saying to myself, like, that's gonna break a lot of people's spirit. But the reality of it is, spirit already broke. And when your spirit broke, the person in reality, it translates to them. I need people to become wealthy in spirit first. That's the only way you're going to change your mindset. I'm going to say that again. I need people to become wealthy in spirit first. That's how you're going to change your mindset. When you're broke in spirit, you're broke in real life. That's the truth, y'all. Think of these things that I'm about to say next. Anytime anybody that's ever been around me before, it's just even through the lives, y'all, there's nothing that I can't do. If there is one person that then did it before me, it's guaranteed that I can do it as long as it's legal. If there's nobody that have done it before me, it does not matter as long as it's legal. If I look at it, think about it, research, when I get ready to start taking action, I know I can do it. It's never a doubt in my mind. My wife give me a hard time sometimes because be thinking in 25, 24, and I be saying things, and she'll be like, "Are you talking about doing this today?" I'm like, "No, I'm not right now. In the future." And she be like, "You talking about doing this 6 months from now?" No. Long future than that. In like 5 years? That's what you're talking about? No, babe, probably like in like at least 25, 30 years. So why are you talking about it right now? It's just how my brain operates. Because there's nothing that I can't do. If I want to do it, it's getting done. And it's just that simple, y'all. You have to be that way, y'all. You got to stop psyching yourself out, explaining to yourself that maybe I can't do this. Maybe this person got lucky. Maybe this person did this. No, that person gave you a recipe. You just had to follow the recipe. I'm not the best cook in the world, but I can follow direction. And being that I can follow direction, I can get in the kitchen and do some things. What does that mean? Before you become this all out leader, you got to learn how to follow. You have to. Even though you're going to be fighting for your last name, you still got to learn how to follow. It's pivotal in order for you to get to where you want to go, because there have been so many different people that have traveled this road that I'm talking about that you may not ever heard of before in your life, that you can duplicate what they did because they paved the way. So when I say to you all that it ain't for everybody, it ain't. But if you have said to yourself, hey, this is for me, I'm doing what I got to do, stop talking about it and just do it. I ain't trying to mess with Nike logo. Shout out to Nike, even though they ain't paying me for giving it all. Giving them no plug. But the reality of it is, just get to it, y'all. Just get to it. How many more Fridays are going to go by where you get a direct deposit and you all excited about your direct deposit, and you hear me get on these lives saying, one of my 8 trusted advisors just called me and told me I can come get your money. How many more Fridays we going to go by with you not understanding the power of zero and applying it in your life? It just is what it is, y'all. It's a scary thought. I sit back and I say to myself, y'all, and I know this, it seemed like a lecture. I ain't trying to get nobody no lecture, because I ain't nobody on these live daddies. But what I am saying is, later for the nonsense, y'all. Put one foot in front of the other and just keep making the steps, doing what you gotta do. It don't matter how fast you're moving or how slow you're moving. Just take steps. Eventually, you're going to get to where you need to be. That's just the truth, y'all. Because the one understand this world gonna turn regardless if you do it or you don't. Time don't tick regardless if you do it or not. You don't want to go to the grave. What's up, family? You don't want to go to the grave not accomplishing what you said you were gonna accomplish. It ain't no secret, y'all. Ain't nothing about it magical. This is the part that's crazy. People don't get lucky. It's putting yourself in a position so that when an opportunity show up, you can take advantage of it. Okay, let me say it this way. Most people don't understand if a person walked into their life right now today and said, "Hey, I'm giving you a certified check for $1 million." You're not even set up in a position to take the $1 million. You have no clue what you need to be doing. You gonna take that $1 million and do what? Man, I got $1 million. I just deposited $1 million on my bank account. They gonna hold this $1 million. Probably they're gonna release a little bit of this money. They might release like 10,000. The other $990,000 that they're gonna hold it for 30 days till it get done that clearinghouse, right? And as soon as they clear for that clearinghouse, what you gonna do? Man, I'm gonna take me like 200 grand and put in my savings account. And I ain't gonna touch that 200 grand. That remaining at 790,000 or 800 grand if I ain't spent that 10 yet, because you're spending that 10 out the gate. That other 800, that other $790,000, when it's released to my account, I'll figure out what I need to do at that point. Most people ain't set up to even get money. And that's the part that's really crazy, y'all. So what I'm saying is, don't be silly, y'all. Y'all, listen. People are some of the smartest people on the planet. And I know that sounds odd the way I said it, so I'm going to say it exactly that way again. People are some of the smartest people on this planet. You have a brain, y'all. Some of the smartest people use about 5% of their brain. Some of the smartest. Most people barely using 2-3%. Start thinking, y'all. Start researching after this. You didn't thought about this stuff, and then start taking these steps. Start taking action, y'all. Because you don't want to continue saying every time something else come up, you hear something else. Man, I wish I would have knew this in my 20s. I wish I would have knew this in my 30s. Man, if I were 18 again, I ain't had no kids, boy. Man, you don't understand what I'll be doing. Could you imagine right now me making 6 figures a year and I ain't have no kids? Man, I'll be traveling the world. Man, I'll be doing this. I'll be investing. I'll be doing all this. Well, if you'll be doing all that without kids, with kids, you should be going ham. You should be doing all those things and more because you got people that you're trying to provide for. Maybe it's just me. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing day to be alive, y'all. You woke up this morning with a choice and a chance. You got the chance when you woke up. What choices you gonna make with the chance that you got? This is how this stuff works, y'all. Every day, make yourself out a plan on what you're trying to accomplish and just start checking the stuff off the box as you get this stuff done. This is how this stuff works. Like I'll tell you, like, and me and my wife were talking about that. It's like you go through life, you get in relationships, and when you get in these relationships, you have a vision of building, right? And then when the relationship ends, what do you say? I wasted my time. Now this person, the worst thing since sliced bread. They the they the two end pieces of the bread, the two end pieces that you don't want ever. When those two pieces touch, you done with the bread. What do I mean by what I'm saying? Take the time to start building. If you're single, start building. Who cares? If you're in a relationship, start building. Who cares? Start building. Yeah, you got to be with somebody that's definitely on the same page, 100% about that. But here's what I would say. Oddly enough, when you pick somebody, you have to pick somebody that's on the same page. Oftentimes, we pick people because we pick their representative. And I get it. It's a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow. We can talk about that. It's a hard pill to swallow, ladies and gentlemen. But here's what I notice. Once you get the, how can I say this? Once you get the infidelity stages out of your relationship, it becomes a little bit easier for people to be on the same page. It really do. You ain't worried if the person got your phone. You ain't worried if a person answer your phone. You ain't worried about nothing because the reality of it is y'all are past those stages in your life. And that's tough. That's straight up tough. I will never take that away. That's tough to get past those stages because people are people. Then you got to get past this is my account, this is my spouse account. You got to get past what you bring to the table, what they bring to the table, and realize y'all both sitting at the table. So it ain't a 50-50 relationship. It ain't a 100% relationship. Y'all not going half on nothing. Y'all going hard on everything. I mean, everything. So when your significant other makes these different decisions, you don't care because the best interest in this scenario is y'all last name. It just is what it is, y'all. Let me give an example, and I'm gonna jump on the trust thing after that because I saw somebody put that in the notes. I'm about to jump on that next. But let me give you an example. For Valentine's Day, I told y'all I bought my wife some flowers. When she took that $143,000 out of my account, she took it out of the account. It wasn't my account. It's the business account, right? She took it out of the account because she didn't want me to know what she had purchased. But she already understood it didn't matter what she purchased because I know she got our last name first. I'm gonna say that again. When she took that $143,000 out of the account, it didn't matter what she used the money for. I didn't care because the reality of it is, I know she putting our last name first. So whether we would end up at a closing table to buy land, whether we would end up buying a whole bunch of purses, shoes, a bit, whatever, it did not matter because I know she put our last name first. You get it? So I'm saying that to say this unconditional love piece, it's the real thing, y'all. I'm not going to go down that path because I don't want to talk about no relationships today. So let's talk about this trust. And I don't remember what the question was, but it was something around put your land in the trust under a 10-year conservation. I came in on the end of that. Okay, so you're talking about conservation. Relationship equal business. You're right about that, Mighty Mouse. 100%. But so basically with the conservation land, it has to be agriculture land. Flat out. Flat out has to be agriculture land. And if it's agricultural land, obviously at that point you have the ability to go into conservation. Now, every state has a different minimum requirement of acreage that you need in conservation in order to get that tax break. In the state of Georgia, you have to have minimally 12 acres of land in conservation in order to hit that quota. Hopefully y'all got that. Some states, I think a lot of the states are 10 acres. A lot of them are 10 acres. Well, I think Georgia's 12 acres. Now, when you put that land into conservation, you can't be conducting business on any land that's in conservation. Hopefully you caught that. So for those people that are like, hey, I bought this land through my business and I'm going to put it into my business trust. And now I'm going to go and apply for it to get into conservation. They will not let you do it. Not one bit. Or the pieces of land that you're going to put in conservation can't be conducting business on. So let's give an example. If you got 20 acres of land and say the minimum requirement is 10 acres, and you decide you want to conduct business on some of the land, here's what you're going to have to wind up doing. One, you're not going to be able to put it in a business trust. They're not going to let you. You have to put it into a regular family living trust for the most part. The portion of the land that's going to be conducting business on is not getting that tax credit. Or not tax credit. They're not getting that discount, that super discount on their taxes. So if you got 10 acres in conservation and 10 acres you conduct in business, you only going to get that tax benefit off of the 10 acres. Now, here's what typically happens that people don't understand when I was talking about that. So when you very first get the land and you go into conservation, they're going to evaluate what's on that property. So if you build a property on that land, before they do their review, what will happen in that situation is they'll take 2 acres of land per house that you build on that land. When I say home, I'm talking about a primary home. So if you go out and you build you a primary home and a small little guest home, they'll take 2 acres out of conservation. So if you got 20 acres of land, they'll take 2 acres out. You'll have 18 acres still in conservation. That's if you do it, build your home on it before the review is up. But once you apply for it and you do the review, whatever they lock you into, so they lock you in for the full 20 acres being up under conservation, you're locked into that contract for 10 years. So say for instance, your tax is $100. Ain't no properties on it, nothing. It's in conservation. I'm just throwing a random number out, y'all. And they do their review. There's nothing on there. You locked in at that $100 for the next 10 years. In 10 years is when they'll do their next review. Let's say a few months or weeks or days after they've done their review and they didn't approve your land being in conservation, right? They didn't lock you in for 10 years. You can start building you a property on it. Your taxes are not going to go up when that property is on it, not until the contract on that 10 years is up. Hopefully you caught that. So if you're paying $100 today, they did their review, locked you in, you're paying $100 a year for your property taxes. You come behind and you build your property on it. The next time they do their review, which will be in that 10th year, technically the 11th year to be exact, That's when a new evaluation will come. The tax break will be on the 18 acres, not the 2. Hopefully you caught that. But the key is it has to be agricultural land, and you can't be conducting business on that land. Hopefully you catch that. Let's say you got it in conservation. You got you 2 acres. You got all of it in conservation. You build after the fact. And you decide, I need 5 acres to conduct business on this land. When 10 years are up and they start doing that review, and on that 10th year, they're going to carve out 5 acres outside of conservation, and it's going to be 15 acres still in there. And you'll be able to conduct business on that 5 acres at that point, but you won't get that tax benefit on that 5 acres. Hopefully y'all caught that. So a lot of times what you'll wind up seeing is a lot of people will go out and they'll be like, man, I found some land that's considered agriculture, but it's 8 acres of land. But it don't qualify for conservation because your state has a minimum requirement that you have to meet. So some of the things that I talk about when I'm talking about the process of every year you're buying your 2 acres, you're putting your 15 grand in your policy, you're paying for your basic living expenses. Those pieces of land that you're buying, they won't be able to be in conservation because in most cases, they're not going to be able to meet the minimum requirement. So even in year 10, when you have 20 acres, if they're not all right there together and all agricultural land, if it's separated 2 acres here, 2 acres there, 2 acres here, 2 acres there, you don't meet the requirement because it's based on what county these things are in. And this stuff have to be together. So at least that's what I was told. So what I would say is that when you're going out and you're buying land for the most part, like once you get into the mode of, hey, I'm buying more than 2, 3, 4 acres of land, start making sense out of what you really want to do with the land. If you're trying to conduct business on the land, it don't matter because other people are going to be paying for it, i.e. your customer, right? Hey, I'm building some rental properties. It don't matter about the taxes. You're going to account for it in your rent. Hopefully y'all catching this stuff. This is how this stuff works. The other thing is, if you know it's something where you're going to lay your head down and you're going to make this a home for yourself, you might want to consider getting you some agricultural land. You just may. You may want to purchase enough land. What's up, family? You may want to purchase enough land so in your particular state, whatever the minimum requirement is, for you to accomplish it. So if your state is 10 acres minimally, you know you minimally need to be buying 12 acres of land. Why? Because if they take 2 acres out, you still covered by that 10 acres. You get it? So when I go and I look at land for the most part, and I shared this on the live before, and which is going to lead me to the next topic, what we're about to talk about. But when I go look at land and I'm like, hey, I'm about to get ready to buy this land, I think of 20 ways I can make money off of the property. The very first thing I'm going to look at is the person that had it before me, what were they doing with the property? If they just had it sitting, like if it's in conservation, just getting a benefit off of it, letting the value go up until they were ready to sell it or whatever it is, that's what I would do. Were they selling the timber on their land? Do they have timber on the land? Do they have any type of, fruits or anything? Like what was on the land? Did they have livestock on the land? Is it residential? And they had rental, like what was on the land before? What were they using it for? And is it something that I would be able to jump into and continue using it that way? Outside of that, I'm looking at every other way I can make money off of it. Because the one thing you don't want to do when you buy land, for the most part, you don't want to go and just buy the land and it's like, I'll figure it out when I get it, even though it ain't really nothing wrong with that, because you always can make money off of the land. Because you make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. So with that being said, start just even if you got to Google to get your mind flowing a little bit, how many different ways can I make money off of this type of land, that type of land, this type of land, that type of land? Just kind of see what's out there. Google will give you a ton of things to start. And that's when you got to start going and doing your real due diligence. Y'all need to be talking to, if y'all buy land, y'all need to be talking to planning and zoning. Figure out what you can and cannot do on that property. That's important. Y'all need to be calling down to the health department just to have a conversation. Get to know those people down there at the county. They need to become your best friends as much as they will allow. Because the reality of it is, they are a wealth of information for free. For free. I don't think a lot of people understand it. And this is why I'm saying things like think, research, take action. All these different things that you're trying to figure out in your life, you are already paying taxes. Your tax dollars are already going to work for people that are expert in these different fields to give it to you for free, or should I say, for your tax money that you didn't pay. That's the truth. So you got to play the game, boys and girls. You got to play the game 100% without a doubt. The other thing is, I know tomorrow I'm actually going back out and looking at those other 85 acres of land. It's a beautiful property out here in North Georgia. And the property, it's overpriced. Don't get me wrong. Like, they taxing for it. They really are. But tomorrow I'm supposed to go back out there and look at it again. I really want to make an offer on it. I'm gonna be honest with you, but they so overpriced. I know the offer that I'm gonna make to them will offend them. So I'm gonna go back out there and take another look at it and see if there's anything else I can squeeze out to give for it. If it's not, I'm still gonna make the offer because there's a chance they still might take it. But I know if it was me, it would offend me. It's a beautiful property. I think the price, that even though it's overpriced, is worth every penny. Every penny is worth. It's worth every penny. Yeah, that's the worst they can tell me is no, I don't care. I've been told no my whole life. It don't matter to me. But I'm gonna go out there tomorrow and recheck it out. I'm gonna take the fam with me because my wife was like, "Hey, I want to go out there with y'all, out there with you tomorrow." I was like, "I bet." So I'll take the wife and the kids and everybody, go out there with me tomorrow. We'll go out there and chop it up. They'll get a chance to kind of just see a different side of it. Because typically when we go out and we look at land for the most part together as a family, it's land that we already own. But this would be something new because typically if it's anybody, it'd be me and my wife. But other than that, the kids don't really go when we're going to make offers and doing all this stuff like that. But this would be something that's good for them to see. Because I want them to start, I want my younger kids to start wrapping their brain around buying land. They understand why and they understand what to do with it, but I want them to understand some of the things that we look for, me and my wife look for when we're looking at land. It's important. Other thing is, I know somebody had asked me in regards to this personal and this not personal, public and private conversation that we have, the business and the trust conversation, and we've talked about that quite extensively. But let me just say this, and I want to be extremely clear when I say this. Operating privately and publicly, business and trust, this is not an effort to avoid taxes, y'all. This is not an effort to avoid taxes. What do you and your wife look for in land? We'll talk about that too. That's what's up, family. Congratulations. Congratulations. That's what's up. How much land was it, if you don't mind me asking? Well, you probably don't mind me asking. $4 grand? How much land was it? Curious. But when y'all hear me talk about this private and this public thing, that's amazing, family. Shout out to that. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Nobody gonna say it to you. And you the probably reason why you didn't say it out loud, that's a lot of land. I don't think people understand that. So he paid 4 grand, he got found what 0.38 acres of land. That's a lot of land. How many square footage is that? Somebody do the math for me real quick. 0.3 acres. That's a lot of land. It's over easily 12, 13,000 square foot. That's a lot of land. That's a lot of land. People don't understand that. Oh, that's what's up, man. Oh yeah, that's amazing. I know exactly what it's at. Shout out to that. For sure, for sure. But let me go back to it. I don't wanna lose it. So the private and public conversation, y'all. Yep, that's 43,560 square foot is 1 acre. So a quarter acre, divide that by 4, then add a little bit more to it. Add a little bit more to it. That's dope. But when I'm having that conversation, a lot of times people get lost because they trying to figure out how to avoid taxes. 18,000 square foot. There you go. At least. And what I will say is that I've said this 100 times, so I'm gonna say it one more time. When you have to pay taxes, y'all, paying taxes is a result from you making money. If you earn money, earn the income, whether it was your business or personal, whatever it is, paying taxes is a result of you making money. If you don't pay taxes, it means you didn't make no money. And these financial institutions, aka these lending institutions, that's how they view it. I'm hoping y'all pick this up. So when you're running around trying to figure out how not to pay taxes, you're trying to figure out how not to make money. That's just the truth. And if you accomplish not making money, therefore not paying taxes, you then can't get funding. These financial institutions are going to look at your willingness to pay and your ability to pay. Your willingness to pay can be A1 on your business side and your personal side. But if you don't have the ability to pay, they're not giving you a dime, boys and girls. Oh yeah, it's for sale signs all the time, up and down the highways. America's for sale. So you got to play the game, y'all, and stop feeding to this thing of I don't want to pay no tax. I don't want to pay no taxes. You gonna pay taxes, y'all. They coming to get their money. Today or later, they coming to get their money. It is what it is. You're not going to wrap your brain around it. You gonna pay them people their money. It is what it is. What do me and my wife look for when we look into land? For the most part, I'm trying to make this very simple. Like only I can make it simple. What's up, family? Me and my wife look for, how can I say this? Really, one real requirement. Just one. And that one requirement is, can we afford it? If we can afford the land that's for sale, we come across it, we buying it. Say, am I not using insurance policies? No. Oh, So what's interesting about that, OC, is this. Google, if you Google checklist before buying land, Google will give you like 20 different things you need to do, right? Um, Me personally, when we go out, obviously we got a broker that specializes in land. And after we done went out and looked at it and did our due diligence, our broker go behind and she'll tell us, hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about that? Right? So some of the things is a must, right? So like surveys before you buy land is a must. You want them to outline where your property lines are. So there's no misunderstanding at all, right? Soil test, perk test, you want to make sure that you get those done because that's gonna start to tell you what you can do on that land and what you can't do on that land. And if it's something you are trying to do on the land, then realistically, if the soil that you have down there ain't right, you may have to bring different soil in. It's possible. No, 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 no. I'm not against IULs like that, like I used to be, but it's not something that I use. So I look at whole life insurance policies. I think a lot of people jump on IULs because they hear a lot of celebrities and a lot of influencers on social media talk about it for the most part. But it's not something that I do. That's just me. Um, but the other thing you want to do is you want to look at the area around too. So when you go there, after you've done your surveys, your soil test, your perk test, all those different things, right? You want to see what's around this place. Is this a piece of property that I'm gonna move to? Is this a piece of property that somebody else is gonna move to and I'm gonna have tenants on it? But what's around there? How far is the hospital? How far is the grocery store? How far is the gas station? How far is shopping? How far is the movie theater? How far are restaurants? You want to look at all those things depending on what it is you're trying to do. So, for an example, if you just going to get the land and say, hey, I'm going to plant me some pecan trees, you don't really care too much what's around. A gas station, maybe, road to get there. You don't really have to have too much stuff around. But if it's somewhere you're going to be living there or you're going to be putting a residence for tenants to live there, you want to make sure there are things around. Schools, all that stuff is important. So it really depends on what you're trying to do. But just some of the basic things, again, you want to look at, like I said, a survey, your soil test, perk test. Is it city water? Is it well water? You want to look at how much it's going to cost if I need to have power ran throughout the whole entire property. Above ground power is cheaper than below ground power, but there are more benefits to your power being below ground because you're around a lot of trees and you don't want trees falling on your power line, right? Was the internet out there? Do they have fiber out there? Do they have like all that stuff is important too? Some of the other things that are important, looking at the crime rate. What's the crime rate in that county or in that city? Is it safe? What's the walk rate around there? Those are simple things, right? Um, crime rate's important. Start looking at the income levels around that area too. They'll give you average incomes in that area, which is pretty interesting. Other thing that my broker typically I ask my broker for. My broker do a pretty good job of getting that, but I think we have access to do that too. I think even Zillow does that right now today. Um, some of the other thing is if you go look at a piece of land and listen, the person that's selling you the land, they might not give you all the information that may benefit you, right? And no, don't no, you're not buying just I mean you can, but you gotta know what you're doing. When you starting out, You definitely don't want to buy land just to be buying it when you're starting out. And the reason why I'm saying that is because when you're starting out, you're trying to make money. So you're trying to get into the lowest barrier or entry that you can in order to make money. What's up, family? But the other thing is, again, call down to the county. The county got all that stuff on record. If it's something bad that happened in that land that you need to know about, and planning and zoning, the health, those people don't know that stuff, y'all. They don't know all of it. It just is what it is, because all that stuff is documented. Especially when you start talking about putting different structures on the land, they don't know that stuff. They ain't got no choice. So you're gonna want to make sure that you're reaching out to the county so you can figure out what's going on with it. But when you're new to it, I'm gonna tell you flat out, the easiest thing for you to do when you're brand new to buy land, you buy land with the idea of, hey, I'm gonna get me a residential property. Why? Because most cases you done bought some land, that means you already got your own home. In most cases, you have went through the process of buying a house before. You have went through the process of paying a mortgage. If you rented an apartment before, you went through the process of being a tenant before. So you've been a landlord. What's up, Miss Linda? You being a landlord ain't far-fetched, right? But that doesn't mean if you decide to jump out the gate and say, man, I'm gonna plant me some pecan trees. That ain't far-fetched either. As long as you do your research on whatever it is you're trying to do, you can start wherever you want to start for real. But for me and my wife, we go and we look at land. If we can afford it and it's for sale, we buying it. How do you keep track of people who work your land? What do you mean? When you say keep track of, what do you mean? If they work for me? Is that what you're asking? Hopefully that's what you're asking. Hopefully that's what you're asking. I'm not sure that's what you're asking. Oh, that's what you're asking. Okay. Well, what I would say is that most of the time you're hiring people out the gate. And when I say you're hiring people, you're not hiring people technically to just be on your payroll to be out there on the land doing this and doing that. You're hiring people to do different things. And you build relationships, of course, with people. But when you decide to put a lake on your land and you put bass and brim on your land, you hiring the company that's gonna come out to put them bass and brim in your land. Or you building the lake out. You hiring a company to come out to build out that lake. You get it? Your landscapers, they're nothing different from what you have currently today. If you have a home right now and you have somebody come out to cut your grass and do the upkeep on your hedges or whatever it is every 2 weeks or whatever you have, it's the same thing. On your land, you rarely have people that are there that are on your actual payroll that are working it that way. It's all like contract out for the most part, unless you have like a small little construction team. So like when we were building property, we had we still do have a small little construction team that we put together piece by piece at this point, and some of those cats are on payroll, which is a little bit different. But these are people that we truly trust. Let me just say that. But as far as having somebody on your land 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or they coming in working shifts on your land, we ain't paying people just to be there. That ain't how that works. That's not how that work at all. What's up, family? You're paying people to come out and do a job. Once they do their job, they get paid and they get ghosts. That's how that works. So unless you have like a big enough property to where you got a butler, the chef ain't there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week like that. They may come on the property and come out and cook whenever they're gonna cook, whatever your cleaning crew. they coming out and doing what they need to do when they're supposed to do it. It's just a service that they provide. So you really got to keep track of them. If you got like animals and stuff like that, like horses and cows, if you're not doing that stuff yourself, then again, you're paying for a service for somebody to come out and do it. You get it? So it's not like they can sneak in and not do no work today and then sneak off and then you paying them for not doing no work. Or if I'm not there, they not work. It's not that type situation. The only person that you really gonna have there at all times for the most part may be a butler for the most part, maybe. And that's if you want somebody in your house like that. For me, it's a little bit different. I have family members that are in the, how can I say, hospitality service. So it's a little bit different. But most times you want to get somebody that you can put on payroll that's gonna be there like that all the time. It needs to be somebody in your family. They really do. Like you don't want to as many people in your family, in your bloodline, people that you care about and love the most, as many people that you can provide a job for them to do so they can get paid pretty good. If they're in your family, the more the merrier. Pay them versus paying your family member. So if you want a chef at your house all the time, and your niece or your nephew went to culinary school, and they didn't got educated on how to be the best chef in the world, went cordon bleu. Hire them to be your chef. Pay them well. You're gonna treat them well. It's family. But they got a business they gotta run, and they gonna conduct their business. You got a family member right now, you done got into position. You got a family member that's driving DoorDash and Uber and all this other stuff. Start a driving service. Make that be one of the other business. Let your little nephew, your niece, your cousin, your aunt, your uncle, whoever that's driving for Uber or Lyft, let them be your driver. Let them hire other drivers on the payroll to be drivers for your family. But your family member is the owner. You're really the owner, but your family member is benefiting for doing that for something that they already doing. You got a family member that's an attorney? Put them on payroll, y'all. You're gonna need it. You got a family member that's a real estate agent or a broker? Put them on payroll, y'all. Whatever it is your family member does for a living right now for somebody else's last name, you need to make them do that for your own last name. You're gonna pay somebody else to do the same thing anyway. Why not pay your blood? This is how this stuff works, y'all. This is the name of the game. So when you start to see, like, you will see people sometimes, and people be frowning upon this. And I used to be one of the people that frowned upon this, but I'm not no more. I understand now. You'll have people that come to this country and some people that are in this country and their family member be like, you going to school to be a doctor. You going to school to be a lawyer. You're going to school to be a chef. You're going to the military. They're being told what they actually are going to do, and their kids have to actually do it if they want to be a part of this will, aka this trust. Why are they doing that? So they don't have to hire these other people and they can circulate the capital in their bloodline. The more you can do that, the wealthier you become. That's just the truth, y'all. I got some of my kids right now. Like my oldest, I can't really do much with her because she didn't really go through this process like the rest of them. She didn't got married off, but her husband a chef. Think about what I just said. Now, I ain't make him go be a chef. That's something he wanted to do on his own. Great. You got some food trucks and you got all this other stuff you're doing. You got a little restaurant. Let's go on and get that. We got a kitchen out here for you to run. And we're gonna pay you better than a food truck. We're gonna pay you better than a restaurant. And it ain't gonna be no finicky business. Like today, this season, if this restaurant is doing great, next year is out of business. No, 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 no. That ain't how that works. Some of my kids, but one of my kids gonna be a lawyer. One of my kids, and I didn't even push this on my second to youngest son. It's just something he said he want to do. He said he want to be a veterinarian. That's what he want to be. I'm like, where did that come from? That's what he want to be. I said, veterinarians work on people too. So we don't need a doctor. We just need you. Uh-oh. All this stuff matters, y'all. So when you put these pieces together, think about how you can bring these things in-house. I'll give you an example. Y'all saw me out here building these properties, right? I ain't got an eye for all this stuff like my brother. My brother got an eye for this stuff. I ain't trying to be no general contractor because I ain't got an eye for this stuff. My brother got an eye for this stuff. So what did I do? Brought him close. Bro, you want to do this right here? This would be great. Yeah. All right. I'm going to pay you versus paying somebody else. It just is what it is. Now, over time, he's going to know everything he needs to know so we don't have these little learning curves that we've been having. But I'm okay with that. Because the reality of it is, I know that at some point, he's going to flourish. Why? Because he's doing it for his little brother. That's number one. And number two, he's making a crap load of money doing it. Crap load of money doing it. So that's how this stuff works. So this is the reason why when you start to see movies, documentaries, TV series, and you see these wealthy families, and they be having butlers, chefs, maids, drivers, all this stuff. A lot of times when you be looking at these different people, it be people, either one or two things. They're family members, or they've been around these people for their entire life. Think about that for a second. You do security work. You think when you start to get a bag, you ain't gonna need security? Well, you might not need it because you do security. But your kids, when they go out to the world, you're gonna want them to have security. Why not when you get in a position to start your own security company? Hire them a security team to make sure your kids are as safe as they possibly can be. Think about that for a second. All this stuff matters, y'all. All of it. So I know I'm sharing a lot of stuff, and I know how I started this live. Hopefully, it brings this stuff full circle. When I say this, ain't none of this stuff pretty, y'all. And it ain't for everybody. So what I tend to do is just, hey, let me put this information out here. What's up, family? Appreciate you. Let me put this information out here. Hopefully, if it's for you, do something with it. If it's not for you, it's for somebody else in your family or in your bloodline. Share the information with somebody who is for, so they can do something with it, so it still changes your bloodline, because that's the only thing that's important. Hope y'all get that. One of the last thing that I'm gonna touch on here, and I'm gonna drop off of the um the other four platforms in a second. But the other thing that I will mention is simply this, y'all. Failure is a good thing. When you fail at the things that you're trying to do or the things that you're attempting to do, it's okay. It's the best teacher on this planet. When you fail at doing something, not only do you learn what to do, you learn what not to do. That experience you only get through failure. If you're around somebody that every time they do something, they always winning, they have a chance, just like anybody else, of doing something that they're going to regret. And the reason why I'm saying this is because if you think you're going to do anything in life and not fail, you already failed. There's nothing that you're gonna do where you're not gonna take those losses, y'all. You're not gonna have setbacks. You're not gonna run into roadblocks. Life don't work that way, y'all. What y'all see on social media, TV, radio, all these different places is what people show you. Most people won't show you when they have losses. Most people won't show you when they have failures. They just won't do it. So it sets a false precedent in your head like you can do everything and always win. Think about that for a second. Think about that. 1 second. Think about that. This is where the rubber really meets the road, y'all. So why am I saying that? You can't be afraid of failing, y'all. If you are staying in fear or you're afraid that you're going to fail, I'm going to be the first person to tell you it's the one thing on your journey that will cripple you. It will put you at a disadvantage every single time because the person that's taking the steps to do these different things, they're closer to the actual target that they're trying to hit than the person that never even take the steps. Think of it this way. What's most people's biggest fears? Man, I only got $10,000 to my name. What if I go out and spend that $10,000? What man, I'm gonna be messed up. I can't spend my last 10,000. Man, I got $200 to my name. If I lose that $200, I'm gonna be screwed. Man, I only got $1,000 in my savings account. That's what I've been saving. 100%. Working with a realtor is not a bad thing, especially when you're buying because you're not paying them. The seller's paying them. But it's a scary thought, y'all. And the reason why I'm going back to the fear conversation is because it's like whether you got $200 that you're trying to hold on to, whether you got $1,000 that you're trying to hold on to, or whether you got $10,000 trying to hold on to, you're still broke. The money ain't real no way. So the money that you're trying to hold on to, it ain't nothing that's gonna change your life. That's the part that's really crazy about it. You didn't got your life saving. This is my last. I didn't save up $50,000. This is my life saving. Y'all, I'm gonna be honest with you. In this world that we're talking about, that ain't no money, y'all. I'm gonna be honest. Well, it's money, but it ain't no money, y'all. It just ain't. So the question you need to be asking yourself is, how did you save that amount of money? Whether it's $200 or $50,000, how did you save this money? How did you get it? What did you do to acquire this money? Can you duplicate those efforts to double it? Can you quadruple it? Think about these things. How you got the money? Can you multiply it and add a little bit of speed to it to get it faster, to get more, so you can start moving the way you need to move? What does that mean? If people been giving you money and that's how you got all that money, keep going to get that money. So if you are going to look for land, you want to have an agent or a broker that specializes in land to go and help you on your journey. It does not cost you a dime. When you are a buyer in these real estate transactions, the seller is paying for that actual broker or that actual agent. Just is what it is. So don't think that, hey, I went and got this broker, I got to get the money out of my pocket. That's not how that works, y'all. They get paid when you get to the closing table. So it's a benefit. You said that might be changing? But when it changed, let us know, family. But it's a benefit to you at this point to have somebody that specializes into something that you may not have no clue about, because you can call and ask them almost anything, and for the most part, they will know. That's the real gift, y'all. So look, to my YouTube family, Facebook, Riff, Rumble, if y'all want to get over here to this after party, we're going to do this after party on TikTok and on Instagram. Join me over there at Zabo103. The bulk of this live that we just wrapping up right now, it will be live upon, and live, and the replays will be on YouTube upon the Zabo103 as well. So if you're not following me on any of these other platforms, Zabo103 on all the platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever platform you on, right? If you're not subscribed to the YouTube, go subscribe to the YouTube at Zabo103. Comment, like, share. I think I got it right this time. So to my YouTube family, Facebook, Riff, Rumble, shout out to y'all. Again, we're about to join the after party over here on Instagram and TikTok at Zabo103. If y'all want to continue this conversation, I'm going to continue for a little bit longer with those guys. Shout out to them. Run on over there. I'm going to be over there for a minute, y'all. Peace to y'all.